Hello guys, welcome back to the playlist. In this video, we will be introducing stacks and implement them using arrays. Stack is a linear data structure, like linked list. That means it stores its data in a linear arrangement. It also supports the last in first out principle, or also called as LIFO. Stack is also accessible at only one end. A common and effective analogy is to consider a stack of plates at your local restaurant buffet. When we are ready to eat, we remove or pop a plate off the top of the stack. Naturally, when the restaurant staff see that the stack of plates are slowly dwindling, they add or push more plates to the top of the stack. Given this, it is apparent that during this time we are only operating on the most recent plate that was added to the stack. Hence, it is said that stack is only accessible at one end. There are two main stack operations. First is push. When we insert an element in a stack, then the operation is known as push. The second one is pop. When we delete an element from the stack, the operation is known as pop. Both these operations are performed on the top of the stack. That is why stack is accessible through a pointer only through the top element, or also known as top of stack. Now let's understand the push and pop operations better. Suppose we take an empty integer stack which is capable of holding maximum of 3 values, and then we execute 3 push operations one after the other, that is push 5 followed by push 10 and finally push 12. Whenever an element is added to the stack, it is inserted on top and the value of top or the pointer is increased by 1. So when we push 5 to it, the array of integers is empty. So that is why 5 gets pushed onto the top and top pointer starts pointing to 5. Next, when we push 10, it gets pushed onto the top of stack and the top pointer is increased by 1. Similarly, 12 is pushed to the top of 10 and the top pointer is incremented by 1. So that is how the push operation is performed. Now let's look at what happens when we perform the pop operation. When we perform the pop operation 3 consecutive times, the top element is removed first, followed by the top pointer being decreased by 1, which takes place 3 times. For example, when we perform the pop operation once, the element 12, which is at the top of stack initially, is removed and top is decremented back to pointing at 10. Similarly, when we remove 10, the value of 10 is removed from the stack or popped and the top pointer is decremented to point at 5. And finally, the top element left is 5, which is then removed when we perform the third operation of pop, and the top pointer is decremented to point at null or -1. Now let's look at two conditions which arise when we implement stacks using arrays. First is stack overflow. So in the previous example, we saw that the array or the integer array could contain only 3 integers. So what if we pushed in a fourth integer? So in that condition, it would be called as stack overflow. That means we have occupied the entire memory allotted to the stack and there is no more space to put in another element. So that is why before pushing in, we always check whether the stack is full or not. And only after that do we perform the push operation. The second condition is stack underflow. That means when the stack is completely empty, there is nothing left to pop. For example, at the end of the pop operations which we performed, the stack was completely empty. So what would happen if we perform the pop operation again? So that scenario would be called as stack underflow. And always the pop operation is performed only after checking if the stack is empty or not. If the stack is empty, then we do not perform the pop operation. There are two types of methods to implement stacks. First is arrays. When we declare arrays, we need to declare the size of the array. And hence, the size of the stack which is implemented using arrays is fixed. That means the size of the array is equal to the size of the stack. We have already studied about linked lists and you might have observed that we do not need to declare the size of the linked list when we initialize or declare it. And hence, when we implement stacks using linked list, the size of the stack is unlimited, or the size of the linked list is equal to the size of the stack. Now, before we implement stacks using push operation, first let's understand what would be the algorithm for the push operation when we code it. So first, we will check if the stack is full or not. If the stack is full, then we would either print an error or show that the stack is an overflow and end the push operations then and there. If the stack is not full, then we would increment the top pointer and add the element which has been pushed to the stack. Similarly, let's look at the algorithm for pop operation. First, we will check if the stack is empty or not. If the stack is empty, then we would print an error or show that the stack is an underflow and then end the pop operation then and there. If the stack is not empty, then we print the element at the top of stack and decrement the top pointer. Now that we have studied about stacks and the algorithms to execute the push and pop operations, let's execute or code our stack using arrays. Okay, so this is the basic structure of a C++ program. Now let's start with the implementation of stacks using arrays. So first let's initialize an array. So integer stack. So the name of the array is stack itself, and let's set the size of the array to be 5. Uh, then we'll store the number of integers which we can store, as well as the top pointer, which is going to point the location at which we are currently operating at. So top would initially, in case of arrays, would point to -1, but in case of a linked list it would point to null. Okay, so now over here we have initialized an array. Stored the number of values that can be entered in array, or length of array, and we have also initialized a top pointer which initially would point to -1 in case of an array, but in case of a linked list it would point to null. Okay, now next let's write the main function. So as I had discussed earlier, we are going to perform 4 main operations. That means push operation, pop operation. Now the third operation would be the display operation, in which we are going to display the current values which are there in the array, and finally we would perform exit in order to perform the exit from the program. So let's create a switch case in order to perform these 4 operations. First would be cout 1 for press 1 for push in stack, and L to print a new null, then cout number 2 pop from stack, and L to print the next one, then cout option 3 for display stack. This function will be used to display the values currently in the stack, and finally we'll also create a exit option in order to exit from the program. So exit would be 4th. Enter. Okay, now we had talked about creating a switch case, so for that we would have to enter a choice and value. Okay, so since we have given the 4 options, we also need to input the values. So first let's declare a while loop. Okay, so if in the while loop now instead of making a while loop, let's call it a do while loop. So reason we are making a do while loop instead of while loop, so that we can accept, we can continuously print these four options which we can perform. So for example, initially I would print these values and then enter the choice. So in order to continuously enter the choice, we are using the do while loop. Instead of that, we could have also used the while loop, but we would have to accept the value before the while loop as well as inside the while loop. So using a do while loop is much more efficient. While the choice which the user has entered is not equal to 4. Okay, and semicolon. So do while loop has a semicolon at its end. Now first let's enter cout, enter your choice of operation, and now we'll accept the character ch from the user. This would be the choice of the operation which he wants to perform. Now we would then declare the switch case. So switch case would be built around switch function, which would look something like this, and it would be based upon the ch value which you have entered from the user. And the first case one would be to perform the push operation. So let's call the push function which we are going to implement after this. So push function, and we should also, before calling the push function, we also need to accept a value which needs to be pushed, right? So before executing the push function, let's accept a value. So cout, enter a value. Okay. And then we will accept that value, cn vel. So this was the vel which we declared earlier, and finally we would push that value into the stack. So this would be the push operation. Now we'll write the break statement and follow that up with the second case. So in the second case, we would perform we're performing the pop operation. So pop operation does not require a value, so we would simply call the pop function. Since we are just simply popping a value from the stack, there is no need to supply any value to the pop function. Then we would call in break and move on to the third case. The third case, we are displaying all the values which are currently in the stack. So we would need to call the display function, obviously. Okay. So all these functions, we have not declared them or implemented them till now. We will implement them after implementing the main function. So then comes the exit option which we just declared, and exit, in exit case of exit, we would display that we are exiting program, and yeah, and done. Okay, then we would execute the break statement. Yeah, and default scenario would be where we would print invalid choice. Okay, now we have also executed the default condition. So because of this do while loop, these four options will be continuously printed, and we would get to continuously execute these four conditions. Okay, so now let's first implement the push operation and the pop operations. So for the push and the pop operations, we need to make separate functions. So the push operation as such is not returning anything. So well, push void push, because it's not returning anything, but it is accepting a value which needs to be pushed onto the stack. So input would be int val, and after that we are going to enter the push function. So we have already discussed that if the stack is full, then we cannot push a value into the stack, since it would go onto overflow. Okay, so first we'll need to check if the top pointer is pointing to a value which is greater than or equal to n minus 1. So n minus 1 would indicate that the array the top value. So in case of an array of size 5, the indexes would be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4 in order to store the 5 values. So if a top pointer is currently pointing to 4 or 4, then it indicates that we have already filled all the values. So that is why the stack is in overflow and we cannot enter any more values. So that is why this is used to check for stack overflow. So in case of this condition, we are simply going to see out stack overflow. Okay, and after that I guess we are going to after that if this condition is not true, that means if the top pointer is not pointing to 4 or a greater value, then we would execute the else condition. So this would be all the other scenarios where the stack is not full. So in that condition we would simply input the values, right? So first what we do is we increment the value of top. That means if currently top is pointing to -1, it would then point to 0, and then we would put in the value or push in the value of the current val which we just accepted onto the stack. So stack of top would be equal to val. So we stored the val into the 0th index in this condition when we execute push operation first. If we execute it again, we would push, the top would get incremented from 0 to 1, and we would put in the next value onto the first position of the array. So that this is how the push operation is performed in a stack. Now let's perform the pop operation. So void pop. So pop is not accepting any values, nor is it returning any value. So pop operation, in case of pop operation, we need to check if the stack is completely empty or not. So top should be, if top is less than or equal to -1, so in that scenario we would print that stack is in underflow. Else if that means if our stack pointer is currently pointing at -1, that means it is empty, so it would print stack underflow. Else if it is not empty, then we would perform the delete operation or the pop operation, which is performed if this is not executed. So we executed inside the else statement. So inside else we are first going to display the value which was just popped. So the popped element is, so first we are going to display the value which is currently at the top of stack. So that would be stack of top. Okay, and after that I guess we'll endl, okay, to print the next statement in new line. So after that we'll decrement the value of top. Okay, so what is the significance of, we are actually not deleting the value of top, but we are decrementing the value of the top pointer. So what happens over here, this causes the top pointer to get decremented, this causes the top pointer to get decremented, and whenever we perform the push operation next time, the push operation will override the value in the array. So over here we are not as such deleting the value, we are just decrementing the top pointer, so that whenever we perform the push operation next time, we are simply overwriting the value of which has been already written. So it is as good as deleting a value from the array. Okay, so this causes the top pointer to be decremented, which is as good as deleting a value. Since if we perform the push operation next time, it will override the pop operation, so it will override the value which is currently being stored. Okay, since it is as good as deleting a value, since push operation will overwrite the deleted value, and there is no scenario in which we will encounter the deleted value or the popped value. So that is why this is how the pop operation is performed. Now let's look at the display function, in which we are going to display the contents of the stack, or the values which are currently in the stack. So over here we are first checking if top is greater than equal to 0, to ensure that there is at least something in the stack. If the stack is empty, there is nothing to display. So after that, checking that, we are going to see out stack elements are. Okay, so okay, we'll handle here. Okay, and we'll use a for loop. So in the for loop, the integer I would be declared. Integer I is equal to top, and since it's since stack follows the LIFO principle, we need to display the values inside the stack from top to bottom. So initially, the for loop will run from top to I is greater than or equal to 0 and I plus plus. Okay, or I minus minus would be better, since we are running from the top value to the bottom value. That means if stack is pointing, top of stack is pointing to 1, we'll decrement it to 1 and then 0. Okay, then we are simply going to see out the value of stack at I, and print a space there for it look better, and see out and now you might notice that we also need to write the else condition for this. So what happens if the stack is completely empty? So in that scenario, we need to print that stack is empty and there is nothing to display. So see out stack is empty. Okay, yeah. So now we have, you might, another observation to make is that we are never encountering the popped value. So as I had discussed earlier, we are running from top to 0. So the decremented value from which the top has been decremented from will never be encountered even in display. So the value which has been considered to be pop or deleted might still be in the array, but as such we are never going to encounter it in any of our operations. So it is as good as being deleted. Okay, so now that we have completely written the program, let's run it to check for errors. Yeah, so first it is giving me 4 options: push in stack, pop it from stack, display stack, or exit. So enter our operation. First I would like to push a value into the stack. So I would like to enter 5. Again the push operation, I would like to enter 5. Then again the push operation, I would like to enter 5. So as you might know, the number of values which can be stored in our stack is 5. So I have pushed total 1, 2, 3 5s into our stack till now. Now let's see if it goes into underflow if I push in the 6th one. So right now there are 5 5s in our stack. Now let's push in the 6th one and let's see if it shows stack overflow or not. Yeah, stack overflow. So as soon as we pushed in, I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. As soon as we tried to push in the 6th value, I guess it went into overflow. Now let's display the contents of our stack. So if I go to option number 3, yeah, so it displayed 5 5s. And let's perform the pop operation once as well. So if I perform the enter 2 for the pop operation, uh, yeah, it popped the top of stack, which is 5. So thank you for tuning in for the code. Now let's look at a few applications of stacks. Now let's look at a few applications of stack. Stack is implemented in expression evaluation and conversion. That means whenever we supply an expression to the computer to be calculated, it is done with the help of a stack. Stack is used in syntax parsing and the backtracking algorithm. Parenthesis checking is done while coding with the help of stacks, in which we check whether the brackets have been entered in the program properly or not. String reversal is done with the help of stack since it follows the LIFO principle. Finally, calling of a function is implemented using stacks. So during a program execution, whenever we encounter a function, it is then pushed onto the program stack. That means the local variables, the registry savings, the return values of a particular function are pushed onto the program stack, and the stack pointer or the top pointer then points to that particular function. After that function has been executed, it is popped out and the top pointer is again decremented. So these were a few applications of stack. Thank you for watching the video till the end. In the next video, we will be implementing stacks using linked lists.